will agree and relate to. How were you in your first relationship? Do you remember? Like,
I was a romantic. I was always been a romantic person. My first relationship was I was in the 7th grade, and I was ready to get married then. I was all set. It was do or die. Um, and I remember I was in love with that girl for a good 8 years of my life, but we were together only for a year and a half. I went to New York. I went to study for 3 years, 9 months. I was in New York. I didn't date anybody. I was single because in my head I was like, प्यार एक ही बार होता है. Little did I know कि प्यार होता कई बार है. But उस time I was listening to Shah Rukh Khan and living with the philosophy कि प्यार एक ही बार होता है.
what about you?
So, see, when you have your first...
तुम भी वही थे.
हाँ, वही बता रहा हूँ. When you have your first crush, then you are besotted. Okay. So, funnily, even my first relationship was a long relationship. And for me, love is about care and respect. Right?
Yeah.
But you knew that in your first relationship also?
Yeah, because, see, how do you know that you are in love with somebody? And I think, for me, the first sign that you are in love with somebody is that you care for that person.
Absolutely.
It starts from there. And you care for that person to an extent that you would care for that person more than you would care for yourself.
True. But how did you handle your first breakup then? Was it difficult? Was it painful?
Breakups are always difficult. ना relationship से निकलना मुश्किल
पहला
है ना.
वाला.
हाँ.
पहला वाला तो
यार, see, वो it also depends on the length of the relationship. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है ना, कई बार क्या हमेशा ये होता है कि relationships में after a certain number of years एक आदत और डर बहुत बड़ी चीज़ होती है. इस बात का डर ना कि आप उस इंसान के बिना सर्वाइव कैसे करोगे और उस इंसान की आदत
yeah.
वो आपको कई बार उस रिलेशनशिप में बांधे रखती है in spite of the fact that you know that it is not good for you or the other person anymore.
That's true. What about you, Ranbir?
I don't really remember, but you're so innocent that time that you do all the cheesy things like listening to sad songs, walking the streets, कि अब तो मैं बर्बाद हो गया हूँ, ज़िंदगी ख़त्म हो गई है. तो all the stuff that we all do at that age.
ये बहुत बड़ा फर्क है इस बात का कि वो जब अपने पहले प्यार की बात कर रहा है वो उम्र अलग होगी और मैं जब अपने पहले प्यार की बात कर रहा हूँ वो उम्र
मैं 13 साल का था.
हाँ, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं 13 साल का नहीं था.
Listen, but there is no age to that because I feel that my sister has gone through a breakup and every morning
How
she
old is
wakes
she?
up. She's my age. She's 3 weeks older. One of my closest friends who's my sister. And we stay together. So every morning she wakes up early and the first few things that I hear is Dil Hai Mushkil running. And I love that song, but I've started I'm like, no, you can't do this to yourself all the time. I think that's...
She's going through heartbreak?
She's been going through heartbreak for almost 7-8 months now. But no, now she teases me कि she'll अभी ये गाना play करना है मुझे and all that because I'm like no. So it's basically that, and I do believe that. But I want to know when your worlds collided. It was for a different film. I think it was a film that you and Ajay sir were supposed to do together. Is there a plan to revive that anytime soon?
I would love to revive that after this film.
Because you walked into this movie, or were you discussing this while you were discussing?
We were
that?
discussing a lot of films actually. See, we met, we discussed a few subjects, we decided that we'll do that film with Ajay sir. But then in that process we started meeting.
Yeah.
And we started discussing the ideas that I have, and so it was one of those ideas which we had both really liked.
Yeah.
So when that film didn't work out because of dates, we decided that we'll do this.
There's a line in the trailer where they say that breakup ऐसे करो कि सबको लगे कि लड़के में problem है. I want to know that there's a lot of judgment that keeps coming after every breakup, especially if you are a public figure. There's always a judgment. How do you deal with that? Has it ever, you've always been a quiet person, you never really speak so much out in public. Has it ever bothered you, internally, when you read or when you hear of these noises?
Yeah, naturally how it bothers anyone. But because you're an actor and because, there's so many perceptions and point of views written about you, some true, some untrue, that you can't really take it seriously. Actually, eventually, I've always told you this, that people have to like you as a person, they have to like your work, and that's what matters. In between your movies, whatever's written about you and all is just pastime, It comes and goes.
Ranbir, everybody really connects with the emotions that you have had. I've always told you that the way you lip sync to movies and the songs, I don't think anybody in this generation can do that. Like even when we see Bedardiya, you're not even singing or doing anything, but it's just when you're in the car and those eyes, they speak 1,000 words. You've intuitively been very quiet, you know, and like reticent in when we meet, like in interviews and in a public domain. Do you internalize those emotions in your craft like that? How do you make it so believable?
I don't know, I try to be honest to every emotion that I'm portraying, and to be honest, like, I think being sad and crying comes way more easier to me than laughing.
Yeah.
I think laughing on screen or having a great time on screen is very hard. So sometimes, actors have certain strengths and weaknesses. So I guess crying and I don't cry in my real life. I don't remember the last time I cried. I'm honestly saying this. Of course, I must be hurting inside, but I don't remember the last time I cried. So I guess movies and characters give me an outlet. And I'm not really crying when I'm acting. I'm acting,
Yeah.
Of course, there's sometimes what happens is music is something that really gets you into a certain mood, and music has always helped me in expressing myself. But I'm acting, it's not really crying.
When was the last time you lied to your partners and got caught?
I've not got caught yet.
I don't lie.
But what was the last lie you
I can't say
told
anything,
Alia?
she'll know.
Let her know.
Yeah, but she sees all your interviews, I can't.
What about you?
I don't lie.
You don't lie. That's a lie.
No.
Everybody lies.
I
मतलब
don't.
सफेद झूठ छोटे मोटे.
मैं बोलता ही नहीं झूठ.
नहीं
Never.
बोलता, ये बोलता नहीं, honest बनता है.
But I want to ask you that, have you ever dealt with, you were saying something.
It's a very weird thing. From a very young age, I feel ego is the wrong word,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to express it. I feel I'm disrespecting myself if I'm having to lie.
No, it's a good way to look at it. Recently, I want to ask you this before I go to the next question. Both of you got married very recently. Both of you had almost like nobody knew.
You know what's funny? We started dating also at the same time. He started dating his wife in 2018
Same.
Jan.
18 Jan.
And me and Alia started dating in 2018 Jan also.
Oh, wow.
And he's born a day after me. He's 29 September 1982. I'm 28 September 1982.
Oh, wow. I want to know, like, did you guys know about each other's weddings also and everything?
Yeah.
Has marriage changed you in any way?
See, I think it hasn't drastically changed us. Also because of the fact that we are not 25-year-olds or 27-year-olds who've got married. Right? We are 40-year-olds who've got married. At the same time, it's not that we have got married to people who have just come into our lives. We have known our partners for now, 5 years?
5 years.
Right. So when we got married, we had already known them well for 4 years. So I don't think there is that big a difference in that sense.
What about you, Ranbir?
Yeah, I think what he's saying is absolutely right. And after 5 years also, you also start understanding your partner's personality even deeper. There is more acceptance, of each other's things that work for you, things that don't work for you. And I think I got really lucky is because I really found a best friend in Alia.
Yeah.
Yes, we are extremely romantic with each other, but I think friendship is what is really the core of our relationship.
There was a point where almost, I think early this year, where I saw a post where you and Alia and Neetu ma'am invited the paparazzi over to your place, and you showed them, without like putting the picture out, you showed them the picture of your baby and you requested them that please try not covering her. And then there's an incident where we can't even call it spotting. It was almost, it was not almost, it was actually stalking that happened with Alia. How do you react to that? Because, everybody got really infuriated with what happened.
Yeah, I mean, they shot Alia sitting inside the house,
Yeah.
from the building opposite. And that's not something that you respect, there is a certain line that you cannot cross of privacy. I think I don't blame the paparazzi culture. I blame the mediums that are posting stuff like this, you know. Whoever posted that picture, the person who's clicking the photograph probably just did his job, but eventually he is not the one who's selling it. He's selling it to somebody and that other person is posting it. And I think everybody knows that it's completely uncalled for, it's stupid, it's bad behavior. And I hope it stops, there is a certain line that you should not cross.
Absolutely. And I want to tell you this that I know for a fact that this movie is something that people my age, maybe even above my age, are excited to watch. And love, sir, I think that your films have had that audience pulse. There are a few directors who have that audience pulse. You've proved that with all your films, and I hope you keep doing more films. And I hope you revive that film with him again, and we get to meet again very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, this is Ranbir Kapoor and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble with Noyandeep.